through, nerd.
Yeah,
nerd.
baby. Chiefs coming through, nerd, nerd. Can,
Yeah, I get that.
it's fucking on a semi,
Get some creative.
man.
This is our cold intro.
Gonna
Our cold
bowl
intro.
over the competition, whoever it is. I don't know, because I don't follow. I just heard Chiefs and I'm running with it.
And
Just like,
Kerfoot's getting kratom.
just like they're gonna be running into the end zone
Yeah.
too many times to count. Even though
That's
they'll totally be able to count, because football scores aren't like that hard to keep.
It truly depends on people counting these things,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah,
So
because
Chiefs,
I mean, if you cross that touchdown line, but no one's around to count it, is it a score?
whoa. We got the deep Chiefs. We got deep Chiefs today. Chief and deep. Someone's been chiefing.
Getting deep. Chiefs.
So that's our cold intro conversation officially disclosed, but now it's the time for That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Greasy Conversation on RadioVegas.rocks. Welcome. It's a talk show. We're going to hot take on some news. We're also looking at NAMM, which is the National Association of Music Merchants. I went there. We're going to look at some stuff I looked at there together and learn and grow. We're going to see weird instruments, cute instruments. I just took pictures of what I dug when I was there, and it turned out to be either guts that go inside an instrument you love or an adorable sized instrument. Spoiler alert, there's going to be at least one tiny trumpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love tiny
man,
trumpets.
dude.
That's right.
Okay, I'm stoked for the tiny trumpet, because it seems we all need more tiny trumpets in our life.
We certainly need baby-sized things that we already know and enjoy.
Yeah.
And-
but can you get like little pets to play? Is it like that tiny where like a hamster could play it?
It's tiny enough that a little person could play it and look normal-sized. What's cuter than that, right? Ange Kerfoot's here.
Hey.
Yeah.
Looking awkward about the tiny trumpet talk, but I didn't
I was
take it
thinking
somewhere
about it.
toilety. There wasn't any toilety tiny trumpet talk, which sounds like it's just dangling there. Like there's something naughty I could say about tiny trumpets that I haven't formed up yet. But I'll leave that to you to fill in.
Doubles as a portable urinal.
Well, or like a water filter, which is like the opposite of a portable urinal. That would be cool. Like, oh, it's not just a trumpet; it filters this pond water.
Yeah.
Third world.
Kind of hard without pictures of it, though.
Well, get ready, because I'm teasing the pictures we're gonna show
Oh.
together. Yeah.
Well, it's meant that like trumpets just get filled with saliva, so they have like a little, I forget what you call it. Like
Spit
a little
valve?
latch. Yeah, spit valve. There you go. Yeah. Probably wouldn't be very good.
Yeah, if you guys are on the video feed, there's a tiny trumpet visible now because I can't tease for very long, but this is already like a tease of further stuff we'll look at. And you folks tuning in RadioVegas.rocks, that YouTube feed will show you stuff during the break. And also, this is on my Instagram. GreasyConversation.com has an Instagram. Pop it a follow. Please ring some bells and bless us with some of your liketitude. We need you. Hey, everybody hopping in the chat already. What up, Daniel, the drummer for when we do music stuff and an
Yeah.
integral part of the formation of what you're experiencing. Founding member. What up, Jesse? Holler in the cuteness. Thank you so much for checking in on the cuteness. And there's a football game on, apparently.
It's over.
Yeah, so there. Apparently it's over. And
Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. And
Got to root for the home team.
She's representing. Here we go. Full cam. Chief cam. Chief cam. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alrighty. That's as much as we really get sports involved.
Yeah.
But we'll play a little bit. I'm not going to no hating. Mild hating here only. Anyway, this is traditionally football or no, the time for the submarine of news.
Yeah, man.
So you're deep diving, even as you're like watching fumbles or whatever. You can double it up. We're here to hang out with you and talk over what you're otherwise trying to enjoy.
Yeah. How about
Yeah, start us off.
All right. I kind of like the story of the plane dumping fuel on a kid's elementary school playground. Like, it's terrible, but also kind of hilarious.
Yeah, can I
Like, that would be-
apologize in advance? Like, okay, no one died, so don't get mad at us for how funny this gets when you look into it further.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a sort of Boeing 777 took off from LAX, and then just en route, it was going to Shanghai, turned around, headed back to the airport, and just had to release the fuel, I guess. I don't.
Yeah,
like
there was a
part of
problem with a compressor. There was a compressor stall, and they say when that happens, it's likely that the engine's going to fail.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
they didn't want to take the whole trip all the way. They were going all the way to China.
Yeah, yeah.
So they had a lot of fuel, way more than the plane is supposed to land with. They take off
Oh,
with more
gotcha.
weight than they're safely able to land with. And the idea is you just dump your fuel if you need to land safely earlier. And it dumps in a hurry, and it coded this high school or this elementary school and all the kids in fuel. There's one quote where the kid was like, I thought it was starting to rain, and I looked up, and then it was a lot, and it didn't smell like rain. Well, then we knew right away it was gas. And they're like all coated in gas, thinking they're going to like catch fire all of a sudden. That's super scary, but no one did.
Yeah.
Little known fact, like higher quality fuels are usually less flammable. Still super dangerous. Still had to hose them off because it gave them like some mild burns too, which
Yeah.
isn't funny. But a plane suddenly dumping fuel on like on you is just a weird way for your day to go that I can't help but giggle at a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely not be happy if that happened.
These kids were like, we got out of school, we got to smell weird. They had a good day.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
They might have had a horrible day, and I'm sorry if this had anything to do with you.
We'll just call it a wash.
You're joking about it by now. These parents are telling kids about their
Oh yeah, these kids. Yeah, they're gonna
jokes
have
about
like.
their flammable kids by now.
Yeah, totally. Not spontaneously combusting.
No one combusted. None of these kids were smokers, thank goodness. If this was a smoking elementary school, this would be a totally different disaster we'd be looking at.
Yeah. Dumped it all over the smoking area
Yeah.
of the elementary school.
Thank goodness it was not a high school.
Yeah. Did you have when you guys went to high school? Was there always like that kid from middle school who would try to bum smokes off you?
They didn't like let the middle schoolers and high schools like touch in my area.
No. Well, I had like, because we had open campus, and so we'd all just go to the neighborhood of some friends and like hang out and be stupid teenagers. But there was always like one kid who was in like 8th grade who would ride his bike. I guess he like never went to school, and he'd just like roll up on us and be like, "Hey, do you guys have a cigarette?" I'm like, "How old are you, kid?" It's like 12 or 13 or something. Like
Did you have one?
Yeah.
You're not saying you didn't hook it up.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, kid. It's your life. Shit.
Oh
mine
man.
too.
So we've got some tips on what to do if your city experiences a airplane dumping fuel on the local education places. Keegan says give everyone 10K and call it a day. I think like 5 or 6 will have done it with these folks. I don't know how settlements work. I don't know if you're supposed to negotiate things like that either. But I mean, hey, you know, airplanes gonna be airplanes, you know? Sometimes airplanes have a little incontinence. Should be a procedure now to like throw the kids under an awning or something. Or like one of those eye wash stations.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There should be eye wash stations everywhere. What are we doing?
Right.
Chris was asking about the snowstorm or gas dump day. Was there a snowstorm too? I might need more. Yeah, what's going on here? You have to pay the lawyers first, so it's got to be at least 10. All right. Well,
That makes sense, yeah.
Well, next time we have a
And then the kids get like 2,
yeah.
if that. I mean, the kids probably get like $100 because the parents are gonna be like, yeah, we're putting this in account for you for college, yeah. Yeah, we're not, paying all the bills we're behind on.
Well, next time RadioVegas.rocks is passively responsible for injured children, we're gonna get Keegan over to help us settle that stuff. Settled.
Like, this is the minimum.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what you can get away with and look like generous and like not have people question it. That'll just squash it. Like, you just don't want people asking questions. All right.
Totally. Now I forgot. Did we introduce our correspondent and co-host today, Ange Kerfoot?
We did.
Okay, just making sure I'm covering everything. We're trucking through.
Double intro.
Yeah, double intro.
I'm just holding off till it picks up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we can totally pick it up with another instance of something, right? With some of this more dank
I
news.
was actually pretty interested in NASA growing a moon base out of mushrooms.
All right, moon shrooms.
Yeah, which does make sense, but the idea is take like starter soil to the moon in a little habitat and start growing it in a mold, and then once it grows in the shape of the building that you want, you just heat blast it, and then it turns it basically into like a brick.
That's
and
awesome.
kills the fungus.
Like that guy's hat that was on Joe Rogan, who's like a mushroom specialist.
Oh
and he had that
yeah,
durable hat.
Stamets.
Paul Stamets.
Yeah,
Holla.
dude's awesome. Yeah,
Stamets buildings. Well, we got to put something on there. Can't just go to the moon and call it a day.
yeah. Or I mean, it's right. Just we're here now. All right.
What next?
Just
Remember
like
it.
we're just gonna sit out in the middle of the moon.
Dig a hole? You brought a garden
We should
spade?
probably get headed back.
Yeah.
One thing I heard of was building like sand igloos and bringing a giant magnifying lens and positioning it so that the sun would bake the sand igloos into glass. That didn't pan out. This is an old idea. It's
Yeah, that
not.
sounds like really far fetched.
There's
like,
no
doesn't
glass
even
igloos
stand up
there
to
now.
scrutiny. Yeah,
It's a lot of heat to turn the moon dirt into glass.
yeah,
The moon dirt really sucks to interact with too. Have you heard about how toxic it is?
yeah.
It's got all these sharp edges to it. So the moon dust, because there's been no blowing it around to round the corners off, it's super pokey. It's like broken glass.
Doesn't it stick to everything?
Yeah, it's really sticky too. It's sticky and pokey. And it's like asbestos, basically.
Yeah. The moon is just made of asbestos. That's how you know it's man-made.
Well, yeah, of course our moon has been manufactured by an ancient civilization. We're leaving that as a
I
given.
think it's neat that the Earth is flat, but our moon is round. Isn't that neat?
Yeah. The all other. Or there was fun. This I always love just like comebacks on Twitter when someone says something that's obviously like immediately inconsistent. And it was this politician saying like we need to start thinking about converting other atmospheres to be livable for humans, and like, but also in the same tweet mentioned that like all these climate change alarmists and stuff, and the guy's like, wait, so you're saying like we could start changing like man-made climate change on any other place but Earth?
Yeah, we can totally take charge of the climate on these other planets, sure, but we have no idea what we're talking about with this
yeah,
climate.
like it's just not possible.
I want to choose some climates.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let's choose some climates right now. I choose temperate for my climate. What are we putting these climates on? We can pick our own like moon sections.
Yeah, I don't. I kind of like the eternal misery of the desert. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah, I'll visit your desert climate. You got to
Like,
have it.
the desert heat. I feel like I need it.
Someone's
like it's a
gotta make
terrible
a-
addiction right now.
Snow area, and then you can go back and forth between it, like the hot tub and the pool.
Yeah, although snow, it just kind of sucks, man.
I don't know if we can pull off snow anytime soon, but at least like a cold area to switch it up.
I just had this weird vision of myself snorkeling like under layers of snow.
That would
Sounds-
snorkeling.
You have to have like a couple snowsuits on, obviously.
That's the kind of thing you can do on the moon if you purchase moon property today. Don't wait till it's actually accredited and officially
If
yours.
I can't snorkel in the snow there, I'm not going.
Yeah,
That's right. And I can guarantee that the property that you're officially buying from me that I apparently possess on the moon is snow snorkel ready. So when snow snorkeling is a thing, which is difficult to say quickly, but I'm
yeah.
getting better at it, that's where it'll occur first. You're getting prime snow snorkel, snow Tony Stark.
What? There's no snow snorkeling. You call this a moon? Fuck, man. You remember when there was like actually you could purchase real estate on the moon? There was a company that would sell like.
Kind of like you can buy stars,
Yeah, exactly.
which are really
yeah.
suns, but I don't want to get into that again.
As if someone was arguing with you. Those are suns, man. No, those aren't suns over there.
Be
It was
like,
just-
so pissed. I'd be like, I paid for a star and it's a sun. I'd be so happy. Like, hell yeah.
I know, that's like a bonus. That might have
Or-
planets. Speaking of which, I don't know how much we dwelled on it, but it's worth bringing up again that the first planet that is likely to be Earth-like enough to be somewhat habitable, at least has a chance of it, like the first Goldilocks zone confirmed planet was discovered by one of those fresh planet discoverers. You can see it in the notes of our last episode. We've been discovering planets the last year. There's new ways of telling when a planet moves in front of a star for sure.
Mm.
And of the ones recently discovered, one was recently like legit. It seems like it's old news when it just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Well, because I feel like we've been hearing about that though for a while.
We've always assumed stars had planets, but no one's as excited as I feel like everyone should be that we're actually confirming that that's real, that we weren't just assuming. Because for all we knew this whole time, other stars, we were the only planets, let alone the only planets with life on them. So,
Yeah.
while life isn't confirmed, the fact that it's been this quickly that we've been able to detect planets where life could be similar to how we function as life, like the heat is all good. There could be an atmosphere there. Apparently, planets tend to fall into these pockets on other stars of there being rocky planets towards the middle, gassy ones
Mhm.
further out, a belt of baloney in between. It's like a thing. We might be more average than even we thought.
Oh yeah, more and more average. Like even the like spiral galaxies are like fairly common and shit. So
But singular stars are actually less common. So we're
yeah,
actually
that's true.
immediately finding out that this planet and many other ones primarily go around binary star systems, that most of the stars we've seen out there are actually couples, which is kind of adorable. We've got like one of the few bachelor stars.
Yeah.
Or bachelorette. I shouldn't be gendering our son. All right. So, moon base out of mushrooms. Holler if there's more to that you want to add. But in the meantime, these notes are, as always, available at greasyconversation.com. You check on this episode, you check on it, you check how it's doing. And there's a link to the links for this show, the articles we're looking at. You can look at them with us. So, that's that with that. Moon.
What about Google? What's this with Google and 27 Club?
Oh, check this out. In the spirit of NAMM, I was looking at the 27 Club. If you're unfamiliar, it's all the musicians that have died at 27. Something about like how we deal with mental health and artists and the centralization of media and the death of the local village entertainer
Mm-hmm.
has led to a tradition since recorded music began of artists dying at 27. It's just a popular age to have some kind of like crisis that leads to preventable deaths.
Yeah, and it started with musicians, but then like eventually it was just, I mean, it
Earlier,
seemed like famous if you're have some sort of notoriety or a certain level, then you just get included
yeah.
after that, right?
Now the current like collection of them includes other artists as well.
Yeah.
And there was
What?
a
Just kidding.
yeah, it dilutes
Okay.
Right.
it. Google
the
had
real-
a special thing.
It's not the real 27 Club.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna think I'm crazy because Google like doesn't change ever or something in your mind, but I swear there was a special 27 Club like Google search thing that happened when I searched for this before.
Really? I
What
was
if it's like
wondering
some
what it was.
Apple only thing? Yeah, now this just looks like a regular Google search for 27 Club, but I
Yep.
got like maybe if it's on your phone, but I got like this like layout of like 27 Club people. It was
The
pretty
family,
cool.
the 27 Club family tree or something.
Yeah, I was able to scroll through it like its own like interface for the 27 Club. There's a few that I hadn't even realized. It's something worth checking out. If you didn't know this was a thing, it would be very cool to be the ones that introduce you to this, because there's a lot of like front people from bands that you didn't realize like that's what happened to that band. Like, oh, I forgot about them.
Who are some of the most, or who are the few that like stuck out as really surprising?
founding members of bands that I didn't know were missing a founding member. Like Brian Jones was a founding member of, I think it was the Rolling Stones, original founder and leader of the Rolling Stones. I had no idea. I was only familiar with all that Jagger Rolling Stones. There's classic ones like Hendrix that you might have known, but I didn't know Robert Johnson was in the 27 Club. He's so influential, I thought he had to have died like in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another surprising one. Janis Joplin is a classic that people forget about with the club sometimes. There's a John Michael Basquiat who died in 1988.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Thank you. Fixed. I was going to feel bad about that later and someone else is going to give me crap. But yeah, that's not a musician, but like buddy, like an Andy Warhol certified artist.
Yeah, actually, his one of his paintings recently became the most sold at auction for the highest amount of money or most valuable painting or whatever.
Yeah, one of the things that I got into looking at this was like diving into him and all the stuff that he did that I didn't realize. I was like, holy crap, I was sleeping on this dude. So that's my 27 Club dive situation. But I highly recommend this inspire you to check out more of these folks in this little chunk of...
Some of these like ways to die are
like, what are you saying?
pretty intense. Accidental blunt traumatic asphyxia.
Whoa, that has a couple things going on at once.
Yeah.
There. Is that like if you fall and hit your neck on a table?
That's what it sounds like to me. That was the dude who played Chekhov in the Star Trek reboot. That sounds like intense, man.
Yikes. Yeah, it sounds like bad aim of passing out walking around. You got to have a spotter. Here's the thing. So many of these...
A walking spotter?
you have handlers. If you're wobbling around, you shouldn't be standing. They should be like, sit down for the rest of your evening, sir. You're not good at standing up right now, and we're not going to put the ropes on you again. Sit down.
Oh, man.
Like Michael Carradine and... Danny Carradine? Carradine and Michael Hitchens from NXS. Am I messing up these names? Basically, the people that died from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, I know.
They needed a spotter above all else.
David Carradine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got to have a spotter. That's the thing.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm going to the fridge to grab a soda. You want anything? Oh yeah, man. You need a spotter.
No. I mean, if you can do that, there's signs before you fall and hit your neck on a table that you're at risk. Like, you're not walking normal leading up to that. Someone should have been like, no, you're in sit down mode for the rest of the evening. You lost your walking privileges. I mean, these people are worth money. There's money on their heads. The insurance people alone should be sending an adjuster to dote after these people. Like, the label sent me, I'm an insurance adjuster. I have to make sure you're not walking around when you get to a certain point.
Yeah.
You do your show, you sit down. We'll move the chair with you on it if we've got to. We don't need you walking around banging your neck on things. So there. Solved.
Oh man. Yeah, these are intense, man. If you're at
Throw
all
another
morbid,
one.
if you're all morbid.
We got a couple minutes before Bob Thornton time.
Yeah.
Like, let's cherry pick
Just some of them. Like, there's not nearly as many ODs as you would expect.
Yeah, that's what I... But that's the 40-something musicians that
Yeah,
get
like,
better, they survive 27, and then they come back for just one more revisit, and then they get taken out.
Right.
Or they were mixing street drugs with prescription things, and their doctors were already like streeting them up.
Yeah.
Fentanyl, some of that street fentanyl, and some classic people just wanting to have a good time again for old time's sake. Like, I think that's... I don't want to say Tom Petty and Prince. I think both were ones that like some street opiates got in the mix of what otherwise would have just been an ordinary, safe, good time. And they didn't know, being good folks for a while, like how crazy the streets gotten in their absence. Sneaks up on you.
Right.
One of the Batman people, not one of the Batmen, so to speak. This is why we need you to make sure you've got Google on hand when we're introducing you to things, because we'll tell you about stuff most of the way to have almost a fact.
Yeah,
but some of these chunks of facts are so interesting.
75%, you know. Shit. One of them fell off a horse and died from the injuries.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
pretty straightforward.
Who is that?
Roger Lee Durham, singer and percussionist of Bloodstone. Heard of him. One that's like kind of harrowing. Where did I just see it? Now disappeared, officially presumed dead in November 23rd, 2008. Like,
Ooh,
I
a
wonder if
disappearing
his-
one.
yeah, like still to this day, never found. Damn. And a lot of them are like straightforward and just, but a few of them are, yeah.
The first couple articles I pulled up totally left out Shannon Hoon. That was one of my favorites from the band Blind Melon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All I can say, man.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man. All right.
On
that's
that
intense.
somber note, let's play some Bob Thornton's.
Yeah, man. So
Cherish Your Life take place in our sponsors.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows. Plus, podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Hey, listen up, guys. I'm here to tell you about Ball Wash. That's right. Ball Wash wants you to stay clean, smell great, and be fresh. Let's face it gets a little funky down there. Nobody likes it. So Ball Wash, it's all about quality grooming products for men that work hard, play harder, and care what they put on their body. Ball Wash, Sack Spray, and Nut Rub are the ultimate trio to keep your package in perfect condition. I gotta tell you, I was skeptical at first, but I tried the Ball Wash, for your nuts, butt, and body with activated charcoal, and it is a feeling like no other. But it's cool, because they've also got the sack spray. That's right, they don't disguise what it is. It's definitely for the sack, and it's awesome, because it neutralizes odor and irritation. We know it gets a little hot and gummy down there. It's disgusting, right? We're disgusting. And they've also got the Nut Rub. You gotta love the Nut Rub. Ballwash.com is where you're gonna want to go. You're gonna want to enter the coupon code Radio Vegas. You're gonna get 15% off. Gotta check them out, guys. It is totally worth it. Get Ball Wash today. Go to ballwash.com. Coupon code, remember it, Radio Vegas, and you're gonna get 15% off.
Hey, Radio Vegas Rocks listeners. It's your favorite habitual line stepper, Sober Sal from the Not Playing Stupid podcast. For those who know me, I'm all about barbecue. The problem I always run into is finding a place when I'm out of town that is one, amazing, and two, won't cut into my drinking money. So next time you're in Vegas, you gotta check out Jesse Ray's Barbecue. Jesse Ray's Barbecue is an award-winning barbecue joint that serves Vegas' best slow-smoked ribs, chicken, pulled pork, hot links, and my favorite, brisket. Trust me when I say it's not just good, it's delicious. So before you blow your kids' college fund at the roulette wheel, or marry the chick you met 5 hours ago while playing Keno, make sure you do it on a full, happy stomach at Jesse Ray's Barbecue, located at 5611 South Valley View Boulevard, right behind the Mandalay Bay Casino. Mention you heard this ad from my show, and you get a free punch in the mouth from sweet old Jesse Ray herself. That got some kick. So don't forget Jesse Ray's Barbecue, where they're all about that butt.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-610-3497. 800-610-3497. 800-610-3497. That's 800-610-3497.
It's Lizzie Minx. Lizzie Minx, bringing you all the hits from the 80s and the 90s. Radio Vegas Top Rocks.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this fabulous morning? We are going to be doing the best of 1999. Thanks for tuning in to Lizzie Minx's mixtape. Let's get it started with some share. Hey!
Radio Vegas Rocks.
Ah! Oh no! It's Greasy Conversation. We're back. Thank you so much. If you fast forwarded, take a moment to rewind a couple times too, because that's how life is balanced out. When you neglect our commercials, you're really neglecting your own self-enrichment. And I can't help you with that. What I can help you with is dank news, because we got dank news every week.
Yeah, I just have to shit on this thing for a while, for a minute. All right,
Let's have a moment.
It's this home crypto mining machine.
Oh, yes.
All right, because I saw an ad for it when I was watching YouTube, and it looks...
Did you by chance put the link in the news?
I did. It should be under the NASA mushroom farm.
Okay, great, because you mentioned this earlier, and we were getting some education on the ratios of how this is crazy.
Yeah, so it's like it's a very nice looking white box. It looks like a sleek computer tower, very slim one, and it costs $800. And it's just you're just supposed to plug it in, hook it up to your Wi-Fi, an app on your phone controls it, and it just mines cryptocurrencies for you, right? Which is like,
sounds too good to be true.
yeah, because it totally is. Because like it was too late to start like mining cryptocurrencies like 5-6 years ago, if not earlier than that, with like investor money.
Yeah.
You know?
Seriously. So you don't have any friends in your life that even know someone that even has worked somewhere where crypto mining in the United States at all is a thing. And yet you think you can get this box and put it in your house and it'll just sit there and make money. And yet you probably have a more powerful computer than what this box. It's $800. I mean, that's already too much money for like what the guts probably are. But chances are your laptop is probably going to at least be something you could wet your toe in crypto mining. If you could afford to get your $2,000 laptop or whatever, you don't think you can like maybe leave it on at night and crypto mine, and maybe someone you know might have thought of this if it made any amount of money. But no,
Yeah.
This box is going to have some kind of processor in it that no one else has gotten a hold of, and it's all marketed. It's just like really obviously too good to be true marketing on something that has existed before and people didn't buy it. There's been plenty of in-home like buy it and crypto mine here, but you're going to pay for the electricity what it's costing.
Yeah. Well, there's just some good. If you go like to actual, it's called a coin mine, but if you go to the actual website, it's just like some funny pictures that like seem like they're trying to be subtle psychology to like make it look really appealing. Where someone's like looking at this app on their phone and it shows a number on the screen that's like 5 million, 958,000. It's this really huge number, but it's like it's not any form of money. It's not even any form of crypto. It's just a way to calculate how far you've mined before there's any return. So it's all this like really obvious psychology.
Yeah.
It seems that way. I don't know.
It's so easy to get cheap computer parts. It's easy for people to gather used parts together and make something that can do this mining thing. And people don't do it in America. People do it in a Chinese warehouse where the government subsidizes the infrastructure and the tax situation is different. And they do it where it's like Greenland or Iceland, one of those, the electricity is geothermal. So the electricity is crazy cheap, so they invested heavily into it. And that's like the only places when you're trying to compete with that, it drives the price up to where, I don't know, even looking at it with that software years ago on the fastest computer I had lying around, I was going to make like $2 a month or something.
that's about what it is still.
Yeah, so you can buy this $800 machine, make a couple bucks a month, and have fun with that. You're totally making money. Great there. Good job. You made money for these people that made this white box with computer parts in it.
Yeah.
And talked you into. You probably make more money using it to stream Netflix in what you'd save not buying like a Chromecast.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. It just seems like I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's like it seems like a money grab, but you know. And they do the typical sold out and all that, like this.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a gnarly time to mess with crypto because it's as unpredictable as ever, but it's never been easier for a layperson to buy portions of a stock. You can use something like Robinhood, or I think they added it to the Cash App now, the ability to buy less than one full stock in something.
Oh yeah.
So you can trade way more affordably with spare change. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to ruin it by saying this, but like tech stocks in general, I don't know about medical, but like chip fabricators, chip designers, Intel, AMD, everyone's doing really well. Intel's not had like the best decade compared to AMD, but AMD is arguably kicking their ass in some ways, but they're not sleeping either. They're not like doing bad. It's just AMD is doing awesome. But I mean, those are just a couple examples. You could do some cursory examinations of trends and tech and still likely win more than you lose if you're really looking to invest. Yeah. Stock it up a little bit. Just have yourself a little stock. Don't play with this baloney coin, Junior.
I love it. All right. So, tragically in Australia, there's, tons of these fires driving a lot of wildlife out. But it's been observed that wombats are super helpful little furry guys. And they're sharing, I guess, like wombats have networks of burrows that they use. And so they're sharing it with just all different kinds of animals to help them escape the wildfires, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. But so a lot of people are saying that the Australian government is not really handling the fires very well. That's like a general consensus from citizens. I've been seeing I don't have the full picture, of course, but to qualify that. But a lot of people are like, if everyone votes to put wombats in charge of everything, say aye. Just because they're being more helpful to animals than like the government. Or just more, to combat the fires in general.
Are wombats really this big? Or is this a Photoshop?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, I thought wombats were fairly small.
This is a good so if you're, not taking a look at this with us, there is a wombat that is hugging a human man, and its head is about twice the width of his head, and its body is bigger around than mine, and this man's hugging it, and its little clawed paws are like the same size as my hands and just dangling over there. Claws about the size of my fingers, and it's a really great Photoshop if wombats aren't that big. If wombats are that big, holy crap, that's a friendly thing to put up with that hug. Because usually the closer you are to a human size animal, the less likely you are to accept a hug from a human.
Huh.
There's myriad examples. Bears don't accept human hugs very often without eating a person. Cats, the bigger cats hug way less than the smaller cats. And it's hard enough to get a smaller cat to hug you. A large one is likely to injure you terribly.
Yeah.
So I discourage this. The larger the dog, especially when you get into wolf territory, wild dogs don't take a hug. There's people that would take exception to this, but they're either specialists or doomed to be wolf food. This is saying wombats are like 44 to 77 pounds. So I think
3.3 feet. That's a pretty good sized animal.
That looks huggable. Okay. This lady is holding one, and it's... What would you say about the size of this? Yeah, these people are hugging them. Whoa, this guy... Okay, that's Photoshop. The guy lying on this one. The shadows don't line up. But this lady is definitely holding a wombat.
Oakjaw.
Oakjaw. Oh, man. Media recommendation if you haven't seen Oakjaw.
I still haven't yet. I need to.
Oh, dude, get ready to cry.
Yeah. I could go for a good cry.
What would you compare the size of this
We should
wombat
watch
this
it
woman's
today.
holding? Yeah, Oakjaw later.
It's like
German Shepherd? A wide German Shepherd.
Nah, it's not that big. I don't think so. I think German Shepherds seem like taller.
Okay.
You know what I mean? This seems like a little stout.
Wider, but not as long as a...
Yeah, probably like as heavy, but not as tall and thin. These are like little stout round guys,
It's
man.
an unusual shape for an animal, so I'm having difficulty explaining its size. I would say bigger than carry-on luggage. Like he wouldn't fit in carry-on luggage.
Oh yeah, you get charged extra for this mofo.
Oh yeah, but he would fit in like about the biggest suitcase you could check.
Maybe.
Dang.
It says baby wombats are called a puggle.
Oh no!
What are they called?
A puggle.
That's crazy. I wonder if puggles were already a breed before they started calling baby wombats that. This is a really adorable animal for being so big.
I know. I think they're like
Let me let
fairly
you guys
aggressive
see.
though. Or maybe I'm thinking of another, but I think
scared.
wombats are fairly aggressive.
These are
but-
probably raised in captivity ones that are probably less aggressive because of that. But I mean, it's one of those things where even if they're as aggressive as a normal person that you just might tick off, there's a lot of capability to injure here. Like you get me aggressive and I've got tall claws like that. Man, look out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some people, man. Have you ever wanted to do that or are you ever like that? You just wake up in a mood where you're just like instantly aggressive to everything?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also
Maybe
tend to
snarl.
wake up thinking everyone's upset at me.
Yeah.
I just
I
wake
get
up
that. Yeah.
and just think I'm going to look at my phone and it's going to be a bunch of things that I made people mad about in my sleep somehow.
While you're sleeping.
Whoa! We freaking got Twitch chats for once. Thank bloody Moses that we're getting some love in the Twitch.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Twitch, but it's not where we get the most people looking at us. Bless our hearts. They're really big on the streaming content. It'd be nice to store some content there to look forward, but I think maybe they're onto something that maybe we're not. Like Twitch is really all about the live stuff only. Anyway, good to see you again, Koba. He's mentioned wombats can be dangerous to semis. You can hit a fully grown wombat in your car and kiss your front axle goodbye.
Damn.
Holy crap. Hot tip, dodge them. This baby one, though, is beyond cute. I didn't know there was a cute animal I was sleeping on like this. Wasn't on my cute animal radar, and now it's on the list when I need to go. Sometimes there's a time in your life you just need some cute animals, right?
Yeah, totally, man.
If you are not aware of this mental health tip, take a cute animal break sometimes. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, just like silly animal videos, man.
Yeah,
It does wonders for the soul.
it's healthy.
For that increasing amount of paranoia I feel every day that I age.
Man, okay, new cute animal discovery. And before we change subject entirely, I have to show everybody capybaras really quick. I can't talk
that's
about.
what I was thinking of, like comparing it to, but that doesn't seem like a very good comparison because I don't think
Large and cute. They're both in that large and
Yeah.
cute territory.
capybaras are like giant guinea pigs
They seem more docile.
without
too.
the bedhead.
The claw situation isn't as fierce in the capybara.
Yeah, but you know, like guinea pigs just have like
Bedhead,
permanent bedhead
yeah.
all over.
That would be my mascot if I was like a moose company, like that I made like hair care products.
Yeah,
Guinea pig is the mascot. Would be awesome.
yeah.
The way capybaras enjoy water poured on them, it's just like, oh man, I want to feel like that animal looks right now. Look at this time. He's so happy. Splashing and so dignified. Anyway, if you're looking, if you're listening, it's just it looks like a giant rat with a serious face. That's all we're looking at with these capybaras. You're not missing too much. But check it out later at your leisure. It's a good time. All right, what do you have next
All
on the
right.
agenda?
So
over there?
this is I don't know. This is just kind of funny. It's a picture of a flight. It's a Southwest emergency landing where the oxygen mask deployed. But there's like a photo. I don't know if someone took a selfie. It looks kind of like that, and it just shows like everyone in the photo is not wearing the mask correctly because you're supposed to cover your nose and your mouth. with
No
the-
one's
with the cup.
covering their nose.
And so everyone just put it over their mouth and it was just like, that's it.
All done.
Yeah.
One person's like just casually reading his Twitter or whatever.
Yeah. Still, he's like, yeah, oxygen, whatever. Like anyone needs that. When's the last time I needed oxygen? Huh. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, just kind of funny.
This is funny, and it's a great time to remind you all to put the mask over your whole eyes and eyebrows as well.
Yeah.
Stretch it out. Get that whole face oxygenated.
Well, especially because they tell you that before you take off, and they do demonstrations, but no one pays attention to them.
No.
Or I do.
Do you? I'm always like, oh yeah, I would probably have done the same thing, even though I've ridden on planes like, I don't even, too many times.
We repeat it back to each other to make sure with a nod, and then we salute the steward.
I'd like to comment on whether or not I believe the person in the exit row is worthy. Objection.
Yeah. I don't think you can handle this duty, sir.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think you've got the fucking medal.
They asked
All right.
if people felt like they were ready. You could raise your hand. I didn't see you raising your hand.
All right.
Frankly, if that thing opens, I'm gonna
Yeah.
clamber over you before you realize what's up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's an accident, and you're gonna open the door.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bullshit.
Sure, pal. All right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Open it right now. Why don't you see if you can
Yeah.
open it?
You can't even fit through it.
You think it opens the same way as your fridge?
Damn. Yeah.
Dang,
Suck it.
safety tips today, everybody.
Is this really about our lives or your leg room?
Oh,
Right. Damn. Legroom, of course.
yeah.
The most important commodity on an airplane, man.
I would like to pay extra to have every row be an emergency row. It's like the heaviest airplane made of all these doors.
Just, yeah, just doors.
Door
What if
air.
it was like zippers though?
That'd be cool.
Like a patchwork plane?
No one wants to see like a flying tent.
Yeah, it's probably true. All right, scratch that. All
I
right.
like this. Microsoft buys a plane and they call it doors. It's just all these doors. You had enough of windows from us. Get ready for doors. It's the future of air travel.
Oh man.
It crashes all the time.
Right. Yeah. Or it's a plane in the shape of a house, just like a house with wings.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Helicopter house.
Yeah, man.
Dude, Kickstarter, helicopter house. I'll see you there.
How many times do you see like helicopters? Maybe when you're like driving across the strip, there's that. I think they do like training for helicopter pilots and also tours out of there. I see them all the time. I'm like, oh man, that one's going down. That one's going down. They just look all the time like they're gonna crash if they're not way up.
Yeah, especially there's like a train of them that come in around sunset. They all come in
Yeah.
from towards the Grand Canyon and
Yeah.
they line up, and I swear some of them get squirrely. I swear some of them get excited.
Yeah, you just sit there and like you might be stuck in traffic, but you just can't take your eyes away. You're like, oh man, I'm finally gonna see it.
Yeah,
Finally gonna see a real life helicopter. Nope.
I got a bad feeling about this, guys, especially if you get the right angle of the New York. So get this hot tip. This is fun too. You drive west on Russell from the west side. So you're on the west side of town. You're going towards the middle. You're on Russell. You're heading there. There's a part where all the businesses clear up. And if you're looking at the New York, and the winds go in the right direction, because that affects which runway they take off from.
Oh yeah.
So if an airplane is taken off northwest, it looks like it goes between the buildings on the New York.
Oh wow.
Because the way the perspective is and the fact that the New York's closer, so even though the plane is plenty high up, it still goes behind some of the New York buildings.
Yeah, from the angle.
Yeah, and this is in Vegas if you're listening and all of a sudden you didn't know where the show is from. Because we've got shows from all over I guess all over the
Greater
whole world. All over
tri-state
most of the
area.
English-speaking world. All over the Western civilization, there is many shows in RadioVegas.rocks. This is one that's locally in Vegas.
It's true.
So it's baby-sized New York that we're talking about, our little facsimile of New York. The planes barely miss it seems.
yeah,
It's haunting.
Yeah.
And they'll
Planes
look like
throw
they'll
some
just
weird
hover in
perspectives.
air. When you don't have a perspective from any clouds being in the sky or anything,
Mhm.
the planes look like they're just like hanging out there, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the creepiest. Yeah, this is an awesome city to hallucinate in. 'Cause stuff's just
Very true.
already messing with you.
Very true. All right. So, all right, if there's a secret to live a long life, what do you guys think it is?
The secret to living a long life is
Like
sleeping.
past 100.
Got to sleep more than a third of your life away to live past 100 is my thought.
Yeah.
Like right away, first answer, hella sleep. What do you think?
Besides sleep, growing your own food in the country without, probably in the Midwest, growing tomatoes, herbs, tea if you can, not smoking, not putting anything else into your body usually to live somewhat healthy past 100.
Minimize what
Can't
junk you gotta
relate,
filter.
Yeah, I know.
Seen it happen. My grandmother was 100.
The less
The
you
other one
filter.
was 85. One of them smoked though. So
The less your filter organs have to work, that's got to be a factor.
I think that probably not eating probably smoothies all the time, so your body didn't have to break things down as much would probably be good.
Yeah. Down for that. So this is.
Do you have any guess before you reveal the real answer in this article?
Well, what I would like, my initial thought is I always think of like Keith Richards, right? So I just feel like if you end up on drugs, like you just have to go full bore and do it forever and like let the drugs keep your body alive.
Okay.
Didn't he stop though? Wasn't
Yeah,
he
I
like
know.
always moderating?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like do drugs forever but moderate? Because I
Yeah,
don't think he
totally.
went as extreme as people said he did.
No, I
That
don't
was
think
part
so.
of the
It's
legend.
just like a running joke
Yeah.
about like why is Keith Richards still alive? No, I mean he's probably like sober. I don't know. It's just
What I've heard is
you
he
get
just
the
never
picture.
hit the wall. He never like dragon chased. He just always did like an okay amount and didn't ever do like a crazy amount. But that
Yeah.
might be true. That might be untrue.
anyway.
So
So this
many
are
variations.
yeah. This are I mean it actually is probably like sleeping is extremely important. We're discovering it's like.
Was that the answer on the article?
No, so these pop up once in a while. It's like when a certain, just they find an old person who does an interview or something, right? And they write a story about him. It's this guy, he's 107, and he says the secret to living to his age is a shot of whiskey every morning. So
Okay, sure.
he says, I've had a shot of whiskey in my coffee every morning for 100 years.
Since he was 7.
Yeah,
Which also means he's had coffee since he was 7.
yeah. Like that's just crazy enough.
It's hardcore.
It's
I
like
really
I'm
think-
going to work in the mine.
I think that like something that probably wouldn't hurt you, like you could probably handle a shot of whiskey every day and be like neutral.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it probably just is getting like, okay, so there's this old couple. The first time I heard about someone being on the news for being old, I was a kid and they were interviewing this old couple and they're like, what's your secret to being all super old? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to find out. It's the first time they're revealing the secret. I was like 7 or something. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm witnessing this moment in TV history. And they're like, we eat tapioca pudding every day. Oh yeah, we make our own tapioca and we share it with our neighbors and we're all old and eating tapioca all the time. Tapioca, B-roll of tapioca. And it's like, no! I've never felt lied to by the media like harder.
Yeah.
Like I knew even at 7, I'm like, tapioca is not doing crap for them one way or the other. They just like tapioca. So that's how I feel about this
funny.
whiskey situation.
Yeah, that's why I just thought it was funny. I don't know. These always pop up. They were probably more popular like in the past, but when it wasn't like super common for people. But
Now
I think there's like enough people that live past 100 that it's not like
as big a deal.
if someone gets like past 110, then you're like, all right, damn son,
If he was like a
slow down.
biological chemist and he was telling me whiskey every day, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like I put it through this triple filtration process. Right, whole Mariano Pomps Rotelli.
All right, Rotelli.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if this was like satire or something, but it doesn't seem that way. But it just seems. But I've heard that before. Like old dudes who are like, "Oh yeah, I just smoke cigars every day and drink whiskey. That's the secret." And it's like, no, I think you just have really good genes.
Yeah, sometimes it's that roll of the dice. You didn't hang out. You could have literally just not lived in neighborhoods in your town that have too much radon in the ground and been less susceptible to cancer.
Yeah,
And also, supposedly, if you don't get any radon exposure, you're more susceptible to other cancers because you don't build up the tolerance that you get from radon growing up.
so you need like a little bit.
Yeah. So there's like a sweet spot in radioactivity that you're supposed to be naturally exposed to throughout your life. And then aside to all the million other factors that involve cancer or not.
Yeah,
So-
totally. Right.
Yeah, it's quite a lottery. So we got a question from our dude Koba if we have any thoughts on the Australian wildfires. I think we covered that a touch earlier, that there's speculation of the government being less
Yeah, a
than
lot of complaint.
supportive.
Yeah, and it's
Can't
just,
verify ourselves, but
Yeah, I don't keep up with Australian politics as much as I should, I guess. But I mean, anytime just a natural disaster happens, like it's a tragedy.
We need more processes for being able to help other countries and funding for people that want to help to go over there. And some companies need to support by paying people to be off to go do it. And there's just so many
Yeah,
little
it's-
things that need to be done that wouldn't require much.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, major.
Airlines need to volunteer to fly people
disasters.
there for free that want to help out in
Yeah,
larger
any shit like
numbers.
that.
I mean,
And it's not like breaking the bank for these fucking companies, man. I mean, we could all.
they need to stop making like
Crowdsource.
21 and under the age to join the Peace Corps. Like, there's just so many ridiculous networks and rules that can't help out for this, that, or the other reason. And there's a ton of people that want to help that can't get over there.
I like one point that you made, that it doesn't just mean that because our country is helping, it's being ripped out of our tax dollars. There's little things that say, like the airline you mentioned, how much extra does it cost them to give up a couple seats when they have empty seats half the time anyway, to get people over there to help, or to help people evacuate, things like that.
Why isn't there a running list for people that want to help out without being necessarily part of a privatized thing? Why can't it be some mass ongoing list?
Facilitating those that want to help and have the means, rather than
why can't jobs pay everybody for 14 days a year to go volunteer somewhere? Even 60% of their wages would help.
It would help more efficiently and be better marketing of their help than if they just gave the money of those wages to these organizations too. If they could actually send people paid their regular amount that are willing to do that instead of their job for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
that's
like
boots on the ground. That's major.
The company I work for will pay you 8 hours a year, which is nothing, don't get me wrong, but it's a start. Everybody could offer at least one shift.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A really big jump from that to going to help out in Australia, but still,
Yeah.
It's something that a company's doing, a step in the right direction. I'm also happy with companies that are willing to offer alternative work schedules. Like my mom just recently was able to go to 410s, and this is really exciting to me. She works for the government in New Mexico. That's on the table. I feel like jobs that are administrative, things where the schedule doesn't matter about the job getting done, should offer more flexibility like that and let people schedule their life differently.
Yeah, totally. Because, I mean, people just operate differently.
Especially when some jobs, they've shown people don't work very efficiently from hour 6 to hour 8 anyway. So they might as well be 6-hour days and that count as full time. And if those employees could goof off and live their lives those other 2 hours, the other 6 hours would be arguably more efficient.
Yeah, more productive, totally.
For sure. And if you have good mile markers and check-in points for what constitutes like efficiency in the job, rather than just ethereal...
like button the seat time?
Yeah, it's discouraging. It's not compatible psychologically to what we've done for what made humans work in society in villages in the early days, because this new industrialized situation for us is super new to what we're genetically built to handle. It's part of why we genetically needed a certain number of entertainers per village, and now with centralization of media, that number's all askew, and they have all these people that have it in their genes to fill the societal role for hundreds of thousands of years, that now we're going to feel out of place anywhere else without some kind of system of supporting everybody, at least in some base way, so that whatever we're good at can fill in where it fills in. I don't know. You know where I'm going with this. There's some balancing needs to be done.
Or just like being able to like rethink, but it seems like El Capital doesn't want to discuss that because it's like more convenient for companies that we all just conform to one format than experiment. And
sorry to interrupt. Where can people go on your website to find this stream? I have a couple people not finding it.
So if you go to greasyconversation.com and click on this article, there's a bunch of different links to different ways to get to it. There's a big red YouTube play button that takes it to the live YouTube link. And underneath that, there's links to see it on Twitch, my Facebook profile, and then also a link to go to the YouTube feed for RadioVegas.rocks. Or you could just go to YouTube and type in RadioVegas.rocks, all one word, or Greasy Conversation, and just in the search, we pop up right away. Just Googling Greasy Conversation will pop up a lot of these too.
YouTube icon, got it.
Yeah, there's a big red YouTube play button in the middle of the article, but also underneath it is text with links of different ways to get to it. Or just RadioVegas.rocks has the audio stream. So you can close your eyes and click around a few different ways, and is one of 7 different streams that we're on currently to pop on. And also there's a link on that same article to the live news doc on Google where we've got all our notes and links to these sources too.
Yeah, man. All right, should we do our second instance of paying them Billy Bombs?
It's a little bomb for in time. Can I get everything?
LV Classic Rock is back. Hi, it's your friend on the radio, Dennis Mitchell, and we're back to rockin' and rollin' just like the good old days. If you didn't know, Las Vegas used to have 2 classic rock stations, one of which was awesome, and when corporate radio took it away, we just kept it going on the internet, and now it's back in all its original glory. Streaming live 24/7, it's LV Classic Rock, and all you have to do to enjoy it is go to the website, lvclassicrock.com, and use the online player, or get the free Radio Vegas Rocks app. That way you'll never be without LV Classic Rock, Las Vegas' best classic rock station.
Hey everybody, it's Crazy Jay, and I want to tell you about ZipFizz. I know what you're thinking. Jay, you've been telling us about ZipFizz. Well, I have the brand new flavor right next to me, and I haven't tried it yet, so let's open it and give this a try. My bottle of water, shake that up. Now this is a brand new flavor, Mango Peach. I have not tried it. I'm looking forward to it. They have a wide variety of flavors, if you didn't know. They've got grape, fruit punch, orange cream, orange soda, iced tea, all fantastic. But let's give Mango Peach a try. Oh man, that is absolutely amazing. I'm a fan of all their flavors, but nothing like this. Oh man, that is absolutely delicious. Mango Peach, ZipFizz, get it today. Visit zipfizz.com, tell them Radio Vegas, tell them Crazy Jay sent you, and get your Mango Peach today.
ZipFizz energy, no sudden crash, 10 calorie, low carb, vitamin B, the healthy energy mix. ZipFizz.
Hey everybody, it's Jay from the Rockin' Comedy Show. You know, I've been doing this for a while, and people still come up to me and say, that's a great shirt. Where did you get it? $6shirts.com, if you haven't heard by now. That's where I get the majority of all of my funny t-shirts. $6 each, or 10 tees for $50. They have a great selection, it's fast shipping, and I'm telling you guys, you can't get a deal like 10 tees for $50 anywhere else. 10 tees, $50. Funny t-shirts of all kinds for $6 each. Thousands of t-shirts to choose from. You'll spend hours looking at their website. They've got guys tees, girls tees, guys tanks, shirts that are inappropriate for work. They've got sweatshirts, hoodies, prints. Of course, not all of those are $6, but they start at $6 and they work their way up. Thousands of t-shirts just starting at $6, but you got to take advantage of that deal, that 10 t-shirt for $50. Check them out now, $6shirts.com.
Ah, shirts! Whoa! Okay, so that's a way to get you excited. If commercials are something that maybe you don't appreciate as much as we do, because we're commercial enthusiasts here, and any of these folks you mentioned, Radio Vegas rocks to them, and something special will happen regarding that. And thank you so much. We're welcome. We're welcoming you. We're welcome. Greasy Conversation. Greasy Conversation is the show you're listening to right now. We've got more dank news to react to.
You're welcome.
And yeah, and you're welcome about it.
All right, so I just found this article recently which just demonstrates some great ingenuity in my opinion. So this dude just gets bored at the airport, and so he hooks up his PlayStation just to one of the monitors that just like that's next to, you know, all those the tall skinny monitors that give the times for each of the arrivals and departures, and there's usually just a handful of other monitors around that are like more like normal screens. He just went over and just like hooked his PlayStation up there and started playing.
That's awesome.
I
Man,
mean,
I can't believe the connections were like available for that.
I know but I bet they are, but like
you probably had to open a panel and stuff.
Yeah, but you probably just assume like it's just like a social expectation where most people would not do that.
Yeah, most people would leave it alone.
And then there's one dude, he's like, nope, fuck that. I'm playing PlayStation, man. He's like, fuck y'all. Airport sucks.
Why is this video on this article just shows pictures of game footage?
I don't know.
Worthless.
Yeah, it's probably like just an ad for this game. Like that's what it is. It's just an ad. They're like,
oh yeah, we just fell for like an ad for this video game.
Just an ad article.
People are taking over airports with this game. It's so amazing.
Dude, That's another crazy thing to think about. That like, you don't often, but how many like ads or articles that sound informative are just ads, and not like ads that are written to sound like articles. I mean, I guess that's because there used to be those like ads where it's just like a one-page ad, and it looks like an article, right?
Yeah.
But it's just an ad, but it's not like a little article with a story in it that's like just actually an ad.
Which
in
is
disguise.
kind of brilliant. Like it shows that people absorb things different ways. There was a trend of this in magazines that
That's what I was thinking of.
yeah, it's continued on to the digital era where you get these articles that would take a full page in the magazine, or rather an ad, but it would write and it would read. God, I'm mixing up everything. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying. It would read like an article. It was written like an article. And some of these were done well enough that I straight up enjoyed what I like got out of them. The
Right.
ones where you actually get like a recording tip or something like that. It's like, oh, this is genuinely cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
AWA, or like thanks Sony. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
The ones I was thinking of.
what I was thinking with this is that could be a whole magazine. And few people would notice, and the people that did notice might actually love it. Because how much do you enjoy reading a catalog? If it's like stuff that you like anyway, this might be
just
like
doing,
a hot tip.
the imaginary shopping.
I know there's people hearing this and they're like, yeah, like a lot of these publications, that's all you're doing anyway. All these are paid articles anyhow.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of real honest tech reviews in the space. If you could combine all of these ones that are written, even if it's just hype from manufacturers, if it's stuff I'm excited about, let's pool the hype. Let's pile it together. That's all right. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
That's the best I had for an idea on that. There's something better a moment ago, I think, but
It escaped.
no, it had to have been worse because it was disqualified.
Yeah.
I'm going to just believe every idea that I ever have for a moment and then escape and lose it, that it was like not worthy. And that way I never feel bad about any lost
Yeah,
thought.
but but it does happen where you're
It's
like,
not true, but I mean, I just believe that.
yeah, I just hate those moments where you're not near where you can write something down or whatever, like in the shower or maybe at the gym or something, and then I'm like, and I'm not really thinking about it, and I get an idea, and I'm like, okay, all right. Usually I'm like super critical about everything I think about because that's just, maybe it's human nature. And I'm like, but this I like. I gotta remember this, and then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, just there are those ideas where you know yourself that it's good enough for the ultimate critic to give it a pass. But
Man, notes though, like jotting notes to yourself, as like simple as a concept as that is, that like defines the good and bad times in my life had to do with how many notes I took on things, I think. And I think I gave myself an easier time accomplishing things when I like had even like a couple bullet points on stuff.
yeah, I always say like,
It's an argument though. I have to talk myself into it.
oh yeah, or you do the casual. Oh, I'll remember.
Yeah.
Will you though? No, you won't. Because what happens every time is you're like, God damn it, what was I thinking about? Or before you go to bed, that's the worst one too. When like the lights are off, you're already cozy. You're like, oh, I should just get up and write this down. And then it's going to be a whole rabbit hole. Never going to end. Never going to get any sleep. So you just got to go to sleep and then it's gone forever into the void.
I'll put my phone on like that yellowy sleepy mode, dim it all up, and try to go to bed like that because I know I'm going to be grabbing at it with some little nugget.
Yeah.
Then you got to leave yourself another note to make sure you see that note. You got to put that in your calendar. You set an alarm.
Yeah, right.
Then you're awake again for a while.
Yeah.
Don't take it that far.
It's like a process, right? Oh, man.
Dude, writing things in the shower, though, that could be a thing. There could be a dry erase board in there.
Yeah.
I have some shower thoughts that I just rush to my phone, get my phone all corroded and wet, and
Yeah, man.
get those notes in there.
So I always put my phone in a plastic bag before I go in the shower.
Dude, phone in a plastic bag. That's just seriously. Hold on to that one. Phone in a plastic bag is something that if you don't already do that, you're welcome hard. Camping, phone in a plastic bag. Fishing, phone in a plastic bag. Taking a dip, put that phone in that plastic bag.
had the thought about people fishing at Lorenzi Park. Remember, I just
Oh, yeah.
one morning I went out there for a walk recently, and there were like 15 different people fishing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
first of all,
There's probably 15
don't
fish
get me
in that
started on the
lake.
hooks and ducks thing, because
Yeah, totally.
how they and of course you're gonna break your line all the time, because like the bottom of that man-made pond is cement.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Your hooks come off all the time and getting all the ducks. Don't get me started.
Yeah, it's like, go do
Got
some
off
real
track a
goddamn
little there,
fishing.
but I
That,
just-
No,
that-
I feel you.
there's probably
no
so
fishing
many,
at Lorenzi Park.
probably so
guys.
many cell phones in that water too, leaking lithium-ion battery time in
Oh,
there
yeah.
and stuff.
Probably not.
Do they let people canoe in it?
I don't think so.
If people were canoeing, people be dropping their phones and everything. I bet there's phones and fountains and stuff, and people trying to selfie it up over the.
Oh, yeah. All
Yeah.
the time. Endlessly. At least multiple times a day.
We need to make phones out of that mushrooms they're making the moon bases out of.
Yeah, mushroom phones.
Yeah, ducks can eat that safe.
Man, isn't it like they're already discovering that like fungus have like crazy networks like under the soil that they use to just spread out. It's like a crazy communication network, and they develop much like layouts of cities.
Yeah,
Which
the
is
way
really
they
interesting.
interconnect is very similar to how we naturally do. Another thing we're finding is that the strings of dark matter that we're barely discovering exist seem to form similar fungus-like threads between astral bodies in the universe. And further, this mushroom that you're talking about that connects under the soil, there is a fungus that does that is likely to be by mass the largest single organism.
Yeah, that's right.
Since it's technically part of one big heavy organism throughout the
Yeah.
soil, kind of like it's almost like a nerve network of the earth itself.
Yeah,
that can
that's a good way to
respond and
describe it.
communicate impulses throughout great distances.
Yeah, man. Soul mushrooms.
What if it's talking to the wombats in their tunnels?
Could be,
And they're
man.
like, oh, the earth is telling me to let these other animals in, and the fungus will get angry. Their cute little wombat faces look like they talk to Mother Earth spiritually.
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm sure there's a cartoon out there somewhere.
Let's make one,
gotta be.
man.
Yeah, man. The
Earth
wombats.
Mother Wombat Junior.
All right.
Anyway, you set yourself up for a sequel talking about the father of Earth Mother Wombat.
The father of Earth Mother.
Yeah, the father of Earth Mother Wombat.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a wombat that speaks to Earth Mother. So she's the Earth Mother Wombat, not the
Gotcha.
Earth Mother herself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a title.
It's all clear now.
Yeah.
All right. So we got. In the world of robotics, it's been incredibly difficult to mimic bird wings or bird flight. The exact mechanism, like how they flap their wings and fly like that, right?
So wait, you're reading an article that's actually admitting that it's difficult? Because I swear, growing up, every time there was a new like university that made a robot flying bird, they're like, "We did it! We found out exactly how birds fly." And then, like 10 years later, they're like, "Nah, we found exactly how birds fly. Our robot does it."
It's always like fixed wing flight usually.
Or like one pivot
Yeah,
in the middle. Yeah.
and it's not like how the birds actually fly. So these guys took
Oh, let's look at it while you're talking.
yeah.
Keep going.
Pretty
talking to myself.
But the thing that did is they built this, like, it looks like just a hinge mechanism that flaps similar to how the bird's wings flap, but they actually attached like pigeon feathers. It was a robot pigeon pot.
So it was specifically a pigeon, this bird.
Yeah, and they used actual pigeon feathers that they got from deceased pigeons,
Oh,
of course.
pigeon bot.
Yeah, but why a pigeon, man? Maybe
Well,
because they're just so easy to observe.
Yeah, there's plenty around to talk to about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this wing is beautiful. That's a lot of articulation compared to
Yeah.
previous mechanical wings. For folks looking, it's got like 2 joints and a bunch of dangle feather situations that spread out as the joints open. But now, is there any... Man, I want to see some of that footage of this thing really giving some flying. 'Cause they're
Yeah,
like, we're so good at making this wing. It doesn't fly yet, you guys. Come on.
yeah, that's probably part of it. Yeah.
Bugs, there's some great robot bugs going on right now as far as bug wings. Some,
Oh yeah, like dragonfly wings and shit.
Oh, I tried to put in robot bugs, and somehow it came out just robots. And that gets his stuff all over the place. That's not helpful. Robot bugs wings. Okay, so Smarter Every Day, which is a great YouTube channel to check out, recently toured some university, and they were working on some flying robot stuff that I was pretty surprised by. New York Times has a not too long ago report of this little fella. Can't see him flapping, but it looks like a little stick of electronically-ness with 4 wings on it. It's definitely standing upright. It looks like when I stand upright and put my hands on my hips, but like a robot bug. That's good enough.
That is a great mental picture.
Dang, we've got because bugs don't fly like that. They look like me lying down with my hands on my hips, flapping around.
Yeah.
This one was bolder. All right, so we've actually got a bunch of more dank news. Some that we probably won't even get to. If you check out our news notes, there's extra enrichment available. But
yeah.
What's the next one to check
So
out?
I ran across this. It's a company has created an artificial intelligence dog trainer, which I think that there's the word artificial intelligence just gets thrown around for like every goddamn thing now. Like, I don't know if it's
Like, oh, my coffee machine turns on at a certain time of day with its alarm clock. That's artificially intelligent.
Yeah.
It knows what time of day it is, you guys.
Yeah, so it's it teaches dogs commands, like simple commands like sit down, come and stay, and then it has a little treat launcher. And if the animals do well, then it launches a treat at them right in their face. Real fast. No, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's but I was thinking, like, I mean, there's got to be one for humans coming out soon, right? Like for
children.
Little children, like the kid wrangler.
Oh man, what were we talking about in China? There was this eye tracking software that they're testing in schools, and it would tell what kids were not actively interested in the lesson, or
God,
sleeping
dude.
or bored, and it made the kids and the parents so paranoid that they got rid of it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super controversial. Not only were like world articles kind of painting it as creepy, but the kids were like interviewed throughout the process, and one kid was like, yeah, I got really good at like really zoning out with my eyes open. I could totally trick it. Another kid was like, I just sleep anyway. There was just like all these things around the board that made it extra, not only not effective, but distracting, where the kids were more concerned about acting like they're paying attention or not than actually paying attention to anything.
Yeah, that seems like a weird system, but China always like seems to come out with these weird, like, dystopian systems that just seem like over the top, man.
Yeah,
You know?
like there's cameras everywhere. The face tracking is such that you even jaywalk when there's no one around, and you'll get an instant message with your ticket within an hour.
Yeah, and don't they like aren't there like self-reporting, or not like self-reporting, but like it's people get reported on by other citizens. There's like systems set up. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I heard.
No, that's a thing too.
Yeah, and even in like some states, you can report on like parking infractions with like apps, and you get a cut of the ticket. I'm like, that's fucking gnarly, man. Turning your fellow citizens like, nah, fuck that, man. Let's park everywhere.
Yeah, that would not work in
Park
like
the planet.
LA. Like people are gonna snitch.
Yeah, right. Some people will, because they're like, I just want fucking money. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't know these people. They're like, shit, I can make $10. Yeah, this person fucking parked wrong, and you know.
I'm under the impression that there's no snitching in Compton.
But it's anonymous, so that's the thing.
Oh.
Like, I mean, the person's never gonna find out like who reported them. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know, systems like that.
Unless you got a buddy on the force,
Yeah. Right.
then
Let's
things
see,
get
it's
hairy.
Had like revenge.
Debtors too. There's giant LED screens in public squares that show the faces and names of people that are in debt and how much they owe to publicly shame them.
Good lord, dude. Shit, I would just like. I mean, at that point,
Just
you might as well
embrace
just
it.
go. Yeah, you just gotta embrace it. Be like,
That's
oh
what's
yeah.
going to happen. I don't think they realize it yet, the people that do this, but like, you do not understand how counterculture gets flared up, do you?
Yeah.
Like, the moment you make something like that, you start making it cool. And people are going to start competing to see how much debt they can have and brag about being on that public square screen.
Yeah,
And
totally.
you're going to get rid of that in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like, right now, that's why we don't talk about the names of, like, mass shooters anymore. So we don't glorify that. Even, or also, if you've noticed the speed limit thing on some of the map apps, if you go a certain amount over the speed limit, it stops showing you. It just shows you like red, or those things by the side of the road that would tell you your speed limit, and it would like flash if you're going too fast. People, even when these came out when I was a kid, my dad was one of these people who would go as fast as possible by it to see how high you could get the number to go, just competitively. He's like, that box isn't giving me a ticket.
Yeah.
They just left it here to make people go slower on this road. So they started making them just say too fast and flash too fast. They don't show your speed anymore if you go more than like 15, 20 over.
Gotcha.
Because people get competitive with badness. If you're going to like shame them, they're going to see how much shame they can acquire.
Yeah. It'll be a new like popularity
All right.
contest, man.
We're deepening it up. We're
Yeah,
just getting deeper on this show today. We're going to heavy it down a little bit for you. Things are getting what's existential on you.
Yeah, man.
All right, that deserves a sound effect about it. This existential sounds. Get ready. That's an existential choo-choo train.
All right, and then I found like just poking around, find some art. These cool like panoramic photographs, and I guess this dude who like worked on movies that use those effects like The Matrix and all that, But the reason I pulled it up is because the title of the article says these photos bend time and space, literally.
Oh, it's like mathematically showing how time and space could be bent.
I don't think so, though. It doesn't seem that way to me. It just seems like they're just interesting photos. They are pretty cool looking.
Well, if you mess with what's exposing when in space, like the portion of the photo isn't only a section of the photo is exposed at a time. You have different stuff in that section. You're going to get something like this. It's almost like when you see video of a propeller. The blades look bent, but they're not actually. It's just what part of the blade is visible during which strip of the sensor is being exposed to light. So that's what I'm seeing with this. There's a woman, and her skirt is very wide, and there's chunks of her arm hovering in the air.
Yeah, and like bouncing away from her.
Yeah.
Almost. That one's pretty cool. And
Oh,
then,
here's how I see the other pictures. Okay,
yeah, it's like a slideshow. And then I don't even know what the second one is. It looks...
like she was running around and blurry. People running around being blurry. Oh, tiny cars. There's a lot of cute things in this episode. So this is what happens if you take panorama mode and you move your phone side to side to take a panorama, but there's things moving. I've done this with traffic before too and got little tiny cars like this. The cars travel sideways as you travel sideways, and you end up with less of the car there and this little tiny skinny cars.
They look fun. Like, I wish cars were more like that.
Yeah, so all this person is doing is, this is one of a video of a freeway with panorama on. So you just see like the front chunks of all these cars and their shadows, and the whole back of the car isn't visible. This is a really fun thing to do, but I did not think this was like worthy of Wired magazine. A special panoramic camera allows artist J. Mark Johnson to distort reality. You can definitely for sure already do this with your iPhone.
Yeah.
No disrespect to J. Mark Johnson. Well done getting Wired to notice your bullshit I've already goofed off and posted before, and Wired didn't notice my junk. So jealous kudos from me and for your special camera. Air quotes, special camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I'm just getting bitter. This was cool to look at. It's encouraging.
Totally.
It means that you can do a dumb thing with your camera and maybe be on Wired magazine if you pretend it was a special camera. Now I'm getting accusatory to this J person. They probably
You're taking this
put a lot of thought into this. I'm sorry.
Taking this kind of hard, bro.
Yeah, jeez. This is an artist, Mr. Johnson.
All right.
All right.
All right. How about this? This giant ash jellyfish, dude.
Is this the blob that ate birds?
No, this is
Because you have a blob article here. Killed over 1 million seabirds in North America.
Yeah. Let's do that before the giant jellyfish. So, this.
What the heck?
This was reminiscent to me of that classic horror movie called The Blob, which has such seminal scenes as a blob bursting into a doctor's office, and the doctor shoots it with a rifle, and nothing happens, and the nurse screams, "Nothing can stop it."
If that rifle doesn't.
Yeah, that's
There's
it.
nothing else we
That's
got.
that's like the most. If you're at the rifle stage, like nothing else, you've already tried everything else. That's the last resort. But anyway, classic horror flick, remade a few times, I think. But so this wasn't actually a literal like giant gelatinous blob in the ocean swallowing up. It's just a gigantic area of abnormally high or warm water.
Oh.
So it kind of throws the ecosystem out of whack. But it was responsible for killing like 1 million seabirds or something, which is
Holy
like
crap.
massive, man.
But this regularly happens?
I'm not entirely sure.
These birds got to get hip to this and not hang out during this blob of warm ocean water. How warm is this ocean water that's getting these fellas? 3 to 6 degrees higher than the expected average temperature. Does it make... Oh, man. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting my hot take on this. I'm like genuinely like...
It says it's the size. So this like patch or blob of warm ocean water is like the size of Alaska.
It messes up the food, the fish that they can forage from.
Yeah, because it like disrupts the whole chain.
They can't get fish for 3 to 5 days with that hot pocket.
Yeah.
The fish don't want to play along.
Yep. Yeah, which is like, I wonder how, like, it's just crazy that just gigantic disruptions in ecosystems like that happen, or like how bad is it? But I guess nature's always in flux, so maybe it'll just
Yeah, I'm surprised the seabird population can absorb that kind of...
Right, like
deal.
it might just be like a small fraction. I don't know. I'm not up on...
Now, if I were to guess what
seabird
took out 1
populations.
million seabirds and was blobular, it'd be this freaking jellyfish. This jellyfish is significantly larger than this guy swimming with it. This is another Ange find. She finds most of these articles some weeks. But this was a big jellyfish she was showing me, and I was like, I gotta show the droplets. I gotta show the squeaky wheels. This giant jellyfish.
Yeah, this is why. And then I had another article that's just about this new discovery of this like type of bottom feeder worm at the bottom of the ocean. It's really tiny worms, but they like help any giant whale carcasses or something that fall to the bottom, but they're the ones that eat bones.
Whoa.
And
bone worms.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why like this jellyfish and these worms are just definitive proof in my mind that the ocean is infinitely more terrifying than space. Unless there's giant space worms, then space becomes more terrifying.
Oh yeah, you have a note about that. Unless there are giant space worms, the ocean is infinitely more terrifying than space. Worthy statement. Wow, that is the biggest advertisement I've ever seen on a website. Okay, so we got
and
some
you can't see them
bones.
very well. And there was another article, the video, but they're just these they look like little weird floating hairs attached to this alligator skeleton at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh.
But they're eating the bones.
That's a fun little nugget to share and be like tipped onto, like, whoa, there's mystery worms you didn't even know about. We're having all kinds of science discovery time. Now, we've got just a quick Bob Thornton break. Just to pay old Bob Thornton.
And then we're jumping into NAMM.
Yeah, then we're going to look at a few little NAMMy things.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, it's Mad Mike of the Rockin' Comedy Show. I can't handle spicy foods, like, at all. The last time I had hot sauce, I practically shat myself. But let me tell you folks, Juan's Flaming Fajita in Cantina is so good! I absolutely love it. I just bring an extra pair of underwear when I go. So join me at Juan's Flaming Fajita and Cantina, located on 9640 West Tropicana. See you there.
Hey guys, it's Crazy Jay from the Rockin' Comedy Show, and I wanted to talk to you about the Ballsy Company. They have a fantastic product that I am absolutely in love with. In fact, here's a clip of the Rockin' Comedy Show as we talk about it.
That's ballsy.
Ballsy.
Oh, ballsy.
That's ball wash.
That
Yeah,
stuff
ball
smells
wash.
really
The funk
good.
off your junk. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's for guys on the go.
For guys on the go.
You know.
You know, you got
I mean,
your nut rub, your stack spray, and for everything else, nuts, butts, and your body.
the funk off your junk. That's kind of hilarious. How do I get one of those? That's like
Smell
a fun
how
gift.
good it smells.
Hashtag live balls out.
Live balls out.
Right.
That's right.
Guys, if you go to ballsy.com or ballwash.com, both of those companies work. If you use coupon code Radio Vegas, you'll get 15% off your first order.
I'm gonna smell the Sax spray right now. It's
I want
smelling.
the ladies here at Radio Vegas to know what it smells like, so that when we walk by, they're like, oh.
Someone's freshened up.
Guys, seriously, you gotta check out Ball Wash from the Ballsy Company. Mention Radio Vegas in that coupon code. Get 15% off. You won't be disappointed.
We are the Debt Destroyer Network. Any debt you have, credit card, tax, student loan debt, call now for free information that helps you destroy your debt. It's great advice. Plus, when you make this free call now, we have Debt Destroyer experts ready to help. They can show you how to destroy your debt and get your life back on track. Debt problems don't have to be overwhelming. You can live stress-free and debt-free. Credit cards, medical bills, IRS tax problems, even student loan debt. Learn about free programs offered by the credit card companies, hospitals, and even the government that can help slash your debt. Call the Debt Destroyer now for free information. Call now. 800-430-8804. 800-430-8804. 800-430-8804. Again, that's 800-430-8804.
I don't know. Why don't you just try doggy style or something? This doesn't usually happen.
All right, John, bend over. I think I got something that's going to make this a little bit easier.
Spunk Lube. Anyone can use it. SpunkLube.com.
Hey, it's RadioVegas.rocks. Check out Sin City Lovin' Podcast.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up. Don't look over here. I'm gonna pull up the.
I don't want to look over there.
No, but I
don't
want
wanna see a
everyone
blue
to see
waffle.
your face.
Is it a blue vagina? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay,
That's
hold on.
disgusting.
I want you to see. I want everyone to watch your face because this is their first time.
Oh my god,
seeing this.
I'm so nervous. So nervous. I'm gonna hide my face.
Don't look yet.
Oh my
let me pull
gosh.
up the images.
So
Hold
gross.
on. It's so. Okay, you ready?
No.
Wait, let me get it. Let me
Dude, am
zoom
I
in.
gonna puke? I ate breakfast
You
this
might.
morning.
Hold on, it's pulling up.
I'm
Are you
like,
ready?
I was like, no, I'm not giving BJ's.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not
Are you ready?
I don't want to look.
You guys ready? You want to watch your face? Okay, gotta look. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I can't.
Do it.
Oh my god. Oh, that is disgusting.
Exactly. Tell me.
Oh, I'm seriously gonna throw up. Oh my god.
Tell me you don't show that in health class and people will stop having dirty sex.
That's Sin City Lovin' Podcast. Every other Wednesday, 9 a.m. on RadioVegas.rocks.
Warning this time.
And we're back.
Slacking.
All right, it's Greasy Conversation on RadioVegas.rocks.
It's my bedtime.
We are time to solemnly tell you that the hot dog Wienermobile Oscar Mayer rolls into Las Vegas soon.
I just think that's so funny, man.
I'm proud of the order I said that in.
Yeah. No, that was the best way to say it, I think.
The hot dog.
Yeah.
That is a car.
It's
Every
just, it's
dog.
funny that it's still a thing. I guess it's, I guess it's got to be like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile rides eternal. All right, that's gonna be like if the world ever devolves into like Mad Max. That's gonna be like the car to have.
Mad Max Wienermobile is such a funny mental image. There's like loincloth laden dudes sword fighting on top of it and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
They had
great.
guns and shit. Yeah, chainsaws.
Chainsaws and the Wienermobile together.
Yeah, well, it would have like big hot rod tires, of course, because you're not gonna survive in Mad Max land without hot rod tires, man.
Oh man, speaking of vehicles, weren't we talking about like a monster truck with green snow tires?
Oh yeah, green
what was
green
that
snow chains.
monster truck you were talking about with green snow chains earlier?
Neon green smoke notes, yeah.
I said it looked like it was wearing fishnets.
Yeah, and then we were like, then we had a hooker car.
Yeah, it's like a big hooker monster truck.
Or a raver car. Yeah.
Man.
Has glow sticks, yeah.
I
It was
don't know.
neon green snow chains. That's what
Monster trucks are not hot in that way. Like if you like to be dominated by your lady, maybe. But there's not like a
They can
like a
be.
pretty face on a monster truck usually. They're kind of muscular.
I'm sure there's got to be like one or two. Dude. Alright.
Gravedigger, you all's got a pretty face and those red eyes.
Yeah, man. Gravedigger. All right.
Oh man, we've got to look at some not NAMM things. I meant
Yeah.
to tell you during the break to take a look at the Greasy Instagram because that's a good way for you to see some of these.
Okay, cool. I was wondering how to.
If you're not already on that Greasy Instagram, I have to say it slow to remember how to spell it. Then it's a simple click at the top of greasyconversation.com. There is a little Instagram-y logo. But I just before the episode threw you some of the things we saw over there. We saw the little sliders that go in motorized mixers. If you haven't messed with a motorized mixer, 'cause most people don't have a reason to, it's a giggly little fun situation more than you'd think. Little sliders moving themselves. I don't know why it delights me, but I got to see what the guts of those look like. They were sliding around.
Why do they do that? Why is it motorized?
Good question. You can have the human interaction of moving the slider with your hand, but then save those settings so that you can go wander off and come back and bring back the same settings, and the sliders will actually look like where you had them set before.
Okay, so it kind of like returns. Gotcha. That sounds actually like a good feature.
It's pretty neat.
I thought it was like, I mean, it's a little extra.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, why not? Why not?
Why not? Indeed. I also saw this robot box that you put a guitar in, and I think it's shaving the frets, but it looks like it is a really heavy duty, like a inkjet printer that a guitar is inside of. That's what it looks like I'm looking at. I think it's grinding that fellow away. That was gnarly. We also got a little slider display. The sliders danced for us on this one display. Did a little wiggly wave. That was a delightful time. What really gets me, though, is the knobs that have a ring of lights around them. And the lights spin around as the knob spins around. The knob can glow, and it's just like Las Vegas for your sound system. Of course, I took a picture of shiny knobs. No one appreciates the sheen on a well taken care of knob as much as I do.
Yeah, you are a fan of knobs. What NAMM is North American
Music Merchants?
Okay.
I think it's the National Association of Music Merchants.
Okay.
But that's at least what I've been telling people.
Yeah.
We depend on each and every one of you to verify most of the things we say. We're just tipping you off onto something that might be true. And tragically, after I took this picture of the tiniest trumpet I could find at NAMM, I did a little more research, and I found a few tinier trumpets. Forgive me. But I can tell you all that this is the tiniest trumpet I've been able to interact with, personally. No. But I was not prepared for tiny wah-wah pedal.
Yeah.
Folks, if you don't play guitar, know a guitarist, at least if you don't know any good guitarists, you might not know what a wah-wah pedal is, but it does exactly what you'd expect. You move your foot around on it, and it gets that wah-wah sound. This company, AMT, was really awesome. They gave me this wristband situation. Let me look at the camera so you can see. Yeah. Now, this company validated me. Not only did they make a tiny wah-wah pedal in the midst of other tiny pedals, and there was one other tiny wah-wah pedal company, but this was the nicer one. All their pedals are tiny, and for a while, whenever my wrist would be sore, I'd take the top of a black sock and wrap my wrist up with it.
I remember that, yeah.
And I just thought that was valuable thing to do. And it turns out other people have thought of this also for the idea of like banging your wrist along on the top of a guitar when you get crazy. That's a thing. You would spot that's a tender zone. And this company made these too. And I was given one. I was getting all cuted out by their tiny wah, and they adopted me as one of their own. There was all these. I hugged one of them.
It happened.
Yeah.
I was there.
And they gave me this awesome wristband thing that is like unto something I'd previously made for myself.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm some kind of freak. And now I've been validated by these tiny wah people. I want to share that with everybody.
So do you think there's like any bands out there that just play tiny instruments?
Yeah,
there needs to be.
They need to go full tiny where all the pedals are tiny too.
Yeah, everything.
I couldn't avoid taking a picture of this next one. This is a tiny amplifier. It doesn't have a speaker. It's kind of the form factor of a pedal. But even for a pedal, it's tiny. And clever thing some of you folks might not have noticed right away, but you're going to see now that I pointed out, is might be noticed on these little pedals, like the Korg Volca series, there are these knobs that are just the stem of the pot. There's no actual knob on it. There's just an indentation or a white mark on just the black plastic stem that goes into the pot on the inside. Sometimes they're transparent, so a light can shine between them. That's been a thing for a minute on these smaller pedals. There's an example of one just to the left of here that I'm cursoring over. But this, they came up with these little rubber grommets so that the knob stuck just a little bit out of the metal, and there's this rubber thing around it, making it look like a tiny version of like a full-size knob. It really gets like a more legit knob situation while still being this tiny thing. And it just, that cuted me out a little inside. If you follow the little parts these things are made out of, it's the freaking future. Then here's one for everybody. This guitar is coral pink, and it's shaped like it had been melted and dropped into the water. Fan frets. Oh no, this one doesn't have fan frets. There were some fan frets ones, but of all the weird shapes of guitar bodies I've ever seen, this is the first one in a decade to really surprise me. I finally saw a guitar body that genuinely weirded me out, like all these weird ones used to back in the day before I became so jaded. So check the Insta out. This is where I can't say it other than like someone was melting it and waving it around underwater, and part of it's silver. It looks like a woman's shoe in like a wacky funhouse mirror, like that U2 song, Mysterious Ways. Everything's all wiggly around in that video. Now we got a neon metallic-y pickup. This you can picture, if you're not looking at this, just picture rainbowy colored time on some pickup, yet it still looks vintage. I don't know.
What is, oh, I see they had a anechoic chamber. Did you guys check that out?
No.
I think that's anechoic.
Anechoic chamber.
Yeah.
Those things, what that is it absorbs all sound. It's more sound absorption than you even want in a studio to not go crazy. But you can test stuff in it. I didn't check that out in NAMM. I didn't know they had one. I might have avoided it. People go crazy in those.
That's what they say. I always wonder, like, how is it literally, like, does it literally absorb all sound to where, like, if you spoke, there would be no sound reflected back at you, so you couldn't hear your own voice?
You would not hear your voice come back at you. You'd only hear the bone conduction.
So you'd only hear it in your head.
Face,
That's why people go crazy, because they can hear all the inner workings of their body, and it really creeps them out because you don't really pay attention to that stuff all the time.
They say you hear your heart beating.
And your like pulse and your, which you can hear like when you're going to bed sometimes, you know. You can kind of hear a pulse in your ear. I can maybe.
They say most people can't handle more than 14 minutes in an anechoic chamber.
Yeah, I've always been interested to check one out, but you know.
It's a haunting legend of how people are driven mad by merely hearing nothing reflect back to them.
Yeah, which would be a weird experience. Like to know you're speaking and not hear it come back at you.
Yeah. My final one is just a guitar that its body is like a metal box. It was on display as like a vintage thing, so I didn't grab it and play it, but I did tap on it.
Yeah. Do they have like stations you can just mess around with stuff all over the place?
Tons of them. You're probably gonna have someone talk to you about it though.
Oh, okay. So like you have to endure a discussion to mess with stuff.
Or at least someone in white shirt with their hands behind their back, staring down at you, taking data, seeing
Oh, really?
exactly how you mess with it. How was your user experience? Did you understand where the tempo function was? Like, did you have any issue learning to use the sequencer? So if they're not like trying to help you, they're trying to like learn how the instrument.
If their interface is good.
Yeah.
Or like makes sense.
I believe so.
As intuitive.
This is from not giving these people a chance because I had questions for them. So I don't know how.
They probably
Mommy's
saw
got
that and they're
this.
like, "Uh-oh, this guy has questions. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows shit."
Wander away. Oh, he's got the hungry eye. He's gonna ask me the one thing that I don't remember what this thing does.
Yeah, time to take lunch, everybody.
Yeah. This dude's got that look in his eye, like he's gonna ask me the one thing I didn't study as a salesperson to embarrass me in front of my boss.
That'd be funny. That'd be a fun like game to play. Is
Yeah.
just go like learn everything about one item.
Oh,
you know,
man.
just go in and like test the people about it and like sound like you invented it.
I embarrassingly have to tell you that I had been that kind of jerk at a trade show previously.
Yeah.
Where like I'd try to ask them stuff that they wouldn't know to see, like stump them.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna stump the trade show employee. That's mean. Don't
Yeah,
do
man.
that. I thought it was fun at the time.
Yeah.
But what a shallow and rude victory that can be, as delicious as it was.
Right.
Like, what did you really prove? You're smarter than this salesperson that just wants to go home and be out of this weird city in this trade show.
Yeah, that's like crazy situation.
Poor
That's-
fella.
Yeah, right. Way to
He'd
go,
be-
Woz. Dude's probably fucking traumatized now. All those people, man, they've been in therapy ever since. They're just haunted by that one guy.
Why did he ask me about the polyphonic mode? I don't think this one even has a polyphonic
Oh
mode,
my
but I
God.
couldn't tell him.
But he already knew.
Yeah.
He already
He
knew.
already knew. And it was right there. He just pushed the button and it was
Oh,
there.
man.
All right, egg on my face.
Oh, man. Yay for trade shows. I love it.
Yeah, NAMM
Right.
was fun. That's my report. Tiny trumpets, you guys. I swear, like, you're going to be surprised at how cuted out you are by taking a look of any tiny trumpet. They're chubby when they're little. It's like a pug. It's not just a little thing that's cute. It's like chibi.
Yeah, or there's like those people they make just like everyday items that are, well, not like everything, but like there was some scientist that made a nano guitar just because they're like, oh yeah, let's just make this really tiny guitar that like you can play it, but you have to like shoot like atoms at the strings. Or like particles or whatever
So
type
awesome.
of
You have to
electrons
have
or
a
something
scanning electron microscope to visibly
play it. Yeah.
Even then, you just see the vibrations and have to translate them.
Yeah, but it's always open string. So
What is this giant space worms? Oh no, giant black hole scientists spot strange objects near the Milky Way.
I did, I grabbed it and didn't have time to.
And then the
read.
article went away. It's like this was redacted by the government.
Maybe there were a few other ones, so maybe just the one I grabbed was not the best one. But yeah. that's
So
it.
there was some strange objects near the Milky Way.
Yeah,
At
like, I
some
grabbed
point-
it. I grabbed it, and then it was like the article was way too sciencey to digest and like talk about in any meaningful way for me. So I was
But-
like, I'm just gonna maybe we'll touch on it next week.
It's something for you all to help us look into because now the article's been mysteriously taken down. So we might be looking at a follow-up episode next week talking about these strange Milky Way objects
Near black holes.
disappearing from the record books.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like what is being hidden with these objects?
Yeah, I tried to grab some science articles, but it just didn't work out for me.
Apparently there's new extreme dropping stuff. So if you're familiar with the old experiment of dropping a feather and a bowling ball at the same time, and when there's no air resistance, they land at the same time.
Yeah, everything falls
So
at
they're
the same
like
rate.
they're hardcore testing this.
Yeah, to try to, I guess, better define gravity or reconcile some things in general
That's the
relativity
best
with quantum mechanics.
Yeah, apparently
That's what it
there
sounds
there
like.
might be a quantum reason for this to not always be the case. And
Yeah,
that
which would
upends a
be
lot
really
of
weird.
things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of science getting upended when we go into the very small. When things get small enough, they have a whole nother rule book, and we're still reconciling the two. Golly, any last plugs or last things you wanted to talk about? Although there's some more new fun things to dive into in the Google Docs thing that we shared on that page. So it's more than just what we bring you auditorily. There's a whole week of research to enjoy separately also. Bonus nuggets. Anything else extra you have to tie it up?
Free hat.
Rehab?
Free hat.
Free hat?
Yeah.
Free hat. Oh, yeah. Free hat. All right, folks. Male ladies and female gentlemen, everyone snuggle together and be excellent to each other and partake in sponsored things and think about us as you go to sleep.